Jerry's first comments after what happened Sunday night against the 49ers, and he joins us here on your home of the Cowboys. DFW Sports Station is 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good to be on with you. Sorry we're on under these circumstances, and I'm still trying to get my voice back.
Jerry, just give us your overall reaction, if you could, to the San Francisco game.
Well, very, very disappointed, of course, because we do and can play better. Number one of the first things that I ask myself in any situation, can we do some things different than we did against the 49ers? Can we do it? Are we capable of doing it? Do we have the players? Do we have the systems in place? Should we have planned to do it, but in case we hadn't planned, can we do something different? The answer is yes, we can. We certainly can make adjustments, and we'll make those adjustments. Have I seen our players do the things that we have to do to play that game differently if given a chance? Absolutely. I see we have the players and we have the systems in place to do it. We have, in my mind, make no mistake about it, we have a quarterback that can get us there. And so I feel very strongly there. We have coaching on both sides of the ball that can get us there. We're 5 games into this year. This was very disappointing. It was if you will, it was a stunner. But we've got to approach the thing from a piece by piece, put our head down and step out there and go to work. And we're not going to have a better chance to go to work than we do against the Chargers here Monday night.
So, Jerry, at the end of the seasons, you're normally a little bit more fired up. And during the season, you're very optimistic. What's your emotion about this loss today? Where are you emotionally?
Resolve, because in a manner of speaking, we're just getting started. We did view this game as a game that would tell us where we are, and nobody likes where we are. What you're asking me and what I'm asking our mirrors and what I'm asking ourselves, can we be different? Can we play different? Can we play potentially different against a team the caliber of San Francisco? And I feel strongly the answer is yes on all fronts. We can do a better job on offense. We can do a better job on execution. We can do a better job on what we want to put out there, what we want to try to do. So, again, without being redundant, we just got to go to work. We've certainly had some key injuries, but everybody has those. Everybody has them. Can we have players out there that can get what we need to get done to, at the end of the time, be potentially sitting there ready to compete at the end of the year? Do we have players on the field and on this roster that can do it? And we certainly do. Those are the kinds of things that have been going through my mind, and I've been scribbling on here for the last 12, 13, 14 hours.
Jerry Jones here on 105.3 The Fan. Obviously, you want better execution, but what do you think are some of the things that you think could be different, done differently, if and when you face San Francisco next time that maybe you would have liked to seen Sunday?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You did at the last, bring in San Francisco. We're not going to be playing San Francisco every Sunday, and they're a good team. But this one we're playing this weekend's a good team too. And so I think that we can do some things differently in how we attack them, our strategies. Some of the things that we tried to do out there Sunday night, on hindsight, we'd do it differently. And so I think that we, first of all, let's just take offensively, we could go to the interior more. Well, with our physical, with our running game, we could go to and on the same hand, we could do some things by stretching them out a little more. We could do some things in our route running that was differently than we did out there Sunday. All of those things or areas that we can get better in? Do we have the ability to do this? I think that's the question every fan you should be asking. Do we have the players? Do we have the healthy players that can get this done? Do we have the players that can do the protections and the blocks? The answer is we do. Do we have defense that's capable of taking those quick throws and those quick throws in the middle of the field? Do we have the ability to it just something as mundane as having your players get their arms up more? When we got our arms up, we knocked a couple of them down. We've got the way to make those kinds of adjustments.
So, Jerry, you're not too panicked in thinking that the gap is really this large between you and the 49ers when this was such a measuring stick in the offseason?
I'm not panicked, but the gap is, I don't want to, when something tells you what it is, don't try to dream that it's something else. Now, what I'm trying to say is we can do better than what we did out there Sunday night. That's a given. We can do better. We have the potential to do better. We have the preparation to do better. We didn't do it at all, to be tried about it Sunday night. But can we change? My life has always been working for myself. And consequently, when you work for yourself, you have to change what you're looking at in the mirror. That doesn't work anymore, or that's not working, and you have to go change it. In this particular case, we have to do some changes from within, and I'm talking technical things now. I'm not talking about the will and the attitude and the work ethic that's with this team. This team's got that. And do we have players in place? Do we have it at quarterback? Let me be very affirmative. I completely believe that we have the quarterback that can take us where we want to go. Do we have the coaching staff on both sides of the ball? And I certainly do. Did Sunday reflect that? No. Is this the NFL where every team on any day has got a chance to beat the other team? Yes. It isn't a given that every time San Francisco will line up this year that they'll come out of there with a win. This thing's as even as any sport, as any league there is on the planet. And you can lose a game in the NFL against anybody you're lining up against.
Jerry, you mentioned that we have the quarterback. You know, in the past few years, you've changed out Linehan and Kellen and Coach Garrett. Why all these changes and the results are still the same? Why are you so convinced that the quarterback is the guy?
No, the results are very obvious. We haven't won a Super Bowl. We've had good. Would you agree that we've had good games over the years?
Absolutely.
Okay, and we've had some bad games. Do you know any team that hasn't had that happen to them?
Nope.
Now, consequently, I will say that we haven't gotten our big years when we should have. We've been real close a few times and haven't gotten our big years. That's not excuses. That's not anything. But if you think for 1 minute that there's any particular thing that I could put my finger on that basically says we need to do that differently, we need to do that differently, then it's combinations of things. Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can get us to the Super Bowl, and that's the way that's going to be. We have other quarterbacks on that roster, and players that certainly, if something should happen to Dak, but I want to be real clear, Dak's very capable of making this team be where we want it to go.
Jerry, do you think that the changes to the offensive scheme, do you think that's the right fit with Dak and McCarthy?
I do. Yes, I do. I think we've, as a matter of fact, do you think getting the ball out quick, do you think it can be effective? It happened against us the other night. That ball was coming out of there so quick, and frankly was able to get it in lanes right in the middle of the field, get it down through lanes, and it shows what good quick throws can do, and they can be very effective. We've got more of that than we've had in the offense. It just happened against us, but we have that in our offense.
Jerry,
and we're going to put it in there. We're going to have it in the games as well.
Jerry Jones here on the Fan. Jerry, I personally liked and understood what Coach McCarthy was trying to do with some of the changes. There are those that say Dak is being limited. These short passes don't allow for enough explosion down the field. Brandon Cooks is not in the right type of offense for him. What do you say back to that criticism or question?
I like for Dak, I like what we're doing. It didn't show against the 49ers. That was very disappointing. It was surprising. But I like what we're doing. And from the standpoint of what we're going to see ahead of us, you'll see some balls down the field. No question, you'll see them down the field. You at least saw one the other night when we all know that that ball was just what it was at the time it was. But still, it was balls down the field. That was a pretty good down the field throw that he made to Turpin.
Jerry, when you talk about, we're going to eventually see stuff down the field, things are going to click into place. It sounds obviously like.
Wait a minute. I'm saying that it's capable of being there.
Okay.
Let's be real clear. It's very capable of being there. Are we going to try to get it there? You bet we are. And we should. Have we gotten this team since, let's say, Kellen Moore left? Have we gotten this team in a place that can do better than we did against the 49ers? You bet we do. Should we change at this juncture back to where we were this time last year? No, we should not. We should go with the kinds of things that we've been working on. We should recognize that we had a very bad outing. And San Francisco had a very good outing. We should recognize that and call it what it is and not mislead ourselves. But as far as sitting here saying that we should completely change out the towels here, that's not even in the cards. And it's really ridiculous.
Okay, Jarrett. Well, then when you say that specifically there, you mentioned Kellen Moore and you shouldn't go back.
First of all, you couldn't do it if you wanted to.
Couldn't go back to
Let's be real clear. You couldn't really do it if you wanted to. Reinvent your offense at this time.
Okay, so Jerry, when you mention Kellen Moore and going up against the Chargers this week, is this then a litmus test, you feel like, for the changes you've made on offense since you're going to be going up against his unit?
Not really. I thought last week was a good test. What this is again, we're going up against a very good team, and we're going to see the kinds of things we're going to work on certainly all week. But my point to you is, do we have in our war chest the plays capable of having success against the Chargers? And I said a resounding yes, we do. Do we have players that can execute that? Yes, we do. Did we do it against San Francisco? No, we did not. Do we have defensive schemes? Do we have defensive players that can play better than we played against San Francisco? Yes. Can we play differently? Can we do some things differently technically than we did against San Francisco? Yes, we can. Will we do the same things we did against San Francisco against San Diego that we did against San Francisco? Probably not. Now, this stuff is if you think about it, is really, I'm just saying to you, do we have the ability to look differently when we get on the field against the Chargers than we do San Francisco? And the ability is there. The preparation is there. So let's see what the Chargers bring. But as far as basically throwing everything out with the wash and basically coming at it from that standpoint here in 2 days before we play the Chargers, from where we have prepared all year to be, you don't do that.
Jerry Jones here on Sean and RJ every Tuesday, 105.3 The Fan. So I hear the resolve in your voice. I would like you to comment on your belief with the resolve in the locker room, because we're worried about this being more than just one regular season loss. CeeDee Lamb clearly looked detached and unhappy. Dak kind of looked like he was stunned. Do you believe that your team has the resolve and will bounce back after the measuring stick they made San Fran?
Well, I know, and I think if our fans and anybody listening would resolve, do you think Parson is mentally resolved? probably as much so as a young player as I've ever been around, Parsons. And he is resolved. And no, I don't. Of the things that we need to do better, their resolution, that locker room, is one of the best that I can remember. And the individuals that are involved in there are not only resolved, but they take what they are doing mentally, they take what they've done in a classroom, they take it to the practice field, and they take it out to the game. We ran into an outstanding team, and we didn't play well. And they'll get that, and they're really going through the very thing you would want them to be doing. If they just took it as, look, that was a bad day at Black Rock, and we'll just put it over there. But certainly they're owning this thing, is popular to say nowadays. But my point to you is that I feel as good about the quality of players, feel as good about their resolve as a team, about their resolve individually, and we've got to get out here and we'll prepare for the Chargers, and we will use what happened against San Francisco to be a better team when we go on the field against the Chargers.
Jerry, why do you think CeeDee Lamb is as frustrated as it appeared he was on the sideline on Sunday?
Well, because he likes to kick the ball. I've never met any receiver worth his salt that wasn't frustrated if he didn't get a lot of attempts come his way, ever.
Is that something that needs to be a function of Dak getting him the ball, or is that something that you guys need to scheme up and involve him more in the game plan?
If you could get to every receiver 7 and 5 attempts a game, they'd be happier.
So but you would like to see him get more involved, right?
I'm saying I don't know about that. What I want to see us do is I want to see the right combination of running. I want to see the right combination of throws. I like seeing that ball go to Turpin on that play. I like seeing balls go to tight ends.
Jerry,
so my point to you is that it's a question so much of how the game goes, but it is no surprise to me. One of the initial people that always got frustrated if he didn't get enough balls was Michael Irvin. And so that's what the top players do, is they want balls coming their way.
Jerry, my bigger surprise is defensively. I know you lost Diggs. Can you just talk about, we had a lot of expectations. They were talking about this is the best defense. We can maybe be all time. Some of the issues that have taken place on the defensive side of the ball in your mind have been what? And just talk a little bit about the defensive disappointment.
Diggs didn't make the kind of difference that Diggs did not. The absence of Diggs did not make the kind of difference that that was exhibited by how we played defense the other night. He was certainly was missed, but not that kind of difference. The big difference that we saw out there the other night was simply one of combinations of a outstanding game by their quarterback. Outstanding execution by the team as a whole against what we were trying to do defensively. And thirdly, of a lack of us. They had the ball, I think, 2/3 of the time. We had the ball 1/3 of the time. Now, that's cause effect, and you got to argue whichever one you want to start with. But the bottom line is they had everything to do with the way that we played. That's the way you do when you have a big win. You influence the way the other guys play. Well, they did. But my real point this morning is this is not the time in any way, form, or fashion to be on most any of the aspects. Yes, on how we showed up. Yes, how we played against 49ers. Yes, how we did several specific things in the game. But overall, Do we have a team that's capable of going out here and being where we want it to be? Sure, we all had aspirations of going through this thing and being dominant, really being dominant. But the facts are that every game for us is going to be a challenge.
Jerry, you talk about your confidence in what you guys have in terms of your personnel and what you guys have built here in terms of the changes you made this offseason. How long would things have to progress into the season if there were struggles before you would start to question if those changes should have been made?
Well, first of all, that's about as general as you can get. Long December, if you wanted to answer it like that. But again, I don't know what changes you're talking about at all.
Play calling and scheme.
Let me see what our injury situation looks like in December. Let's see what. Again, principally would be availability of players. That would be the most impactful thing for me to answer a question about, I guess, changes. And but you're implying no changes now, and that's just not the case. That's not the case. We'll do some things differently this week against the Chargers, and I'm not trying to be trite, but we'll go out there and make adjustments for things we didn't do right. But it's going to be good. Looks like we're going to have our offensive line back for the second game of the line that we would really design to have out there, which is hard to do because of the injury factor. But we'll have that, and we'll do some things that probably better, and we'll do some things that we should have done against San Francisco we didn't do.
Jerry, he did it once before in Green Bay. Have you thought about or talked with Coach, or is it an option in your mind to have Coach McCarthy let Schottenheimer take over the play calling to manage the games as the CEO?
No, in any way, no.
Jerry, thank you for the time and the clarity.
You bet, guys. All right, great. Let's have a good week.
Appreciate it. Jerry Jones, brought to you by Ford, built for Texas, built for you.